Hello, welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're already a subscriber. Today's video is going to be about this lovely journal. If you've already seen the video for the Do It Your Freaking Self, that was Jane Davenport inspired, this is very similar. It is just Vicki Boutin inspired. I absolutely love Vicki Boutin. I love that she is mixed media and paper crafting all in one. So I'm a huge fan, and I got a hold of several of her paper pads. So it's really just to do a new version of the DIY, just with her theme. Now, the contents is a little bit different. With the Jane Davenport, there's more different media papers. So what that means is there's things like the Bristol board, and there's watercolor paper, there's mixed media paper, there's some graph paper, there's Tomoe River paper. So if you want to check that out, that's actually still available for sale on the shop right now. So you can head over to the shop and check that one out. I also do custom orders. So if somehow later down the line you're watching this video and it's already sold and gone, just reach out to me and we'll see what we can do, and if I still have the materials to make everything. But this one has more of the Vicki Boutin paper. I have more from her, so I was able to put more of that paper in there. So I'm really excited about that. There are some other papers in there, like the canvas paper, the watercolor paper, mixed media paper, graph paper. There's no Tomoe River paper in this one. And I'm sad about that, but there's so many really pretty designs that I wanted to include that I was willing to kind of sacrifice that. But let's go ahead and dive into the book. So the first thing that I want to call out is the cover itself. I did not make this cover. These are, this is one of the Jane Davenport butterfly books. What I love about it is it's a canvas outside. So as long as you prime your surface, which I highly recommend, there are videos on how to do that. I personally have not done one like that quite yet, but it's in my future. But I will say that from what I've read, just be very careful about not oversaturating it with the gesso. So the fact that it is already made really makes it a lot cleaner of a look, in my opinion. You have this great teal elastic that goes around the book to help keep everything closed for you. One thing that I don't care for is the fact that there's only 2 holes, which means you get cut out a loop. So flipping it inside, you'll notice that I've run some elastic through it. I'm trying to also make sure I stay in frame. This is like way up the table for me, which is strange. I can't get my camera set up right today. But this elastic has been thread through so that you can fit more books in. So traditionally, I have a habit of making sure that my journals all have 3 books in them when they sell, and room to put more. So that you can buy an additional insert of your own choosing or pop one in that you may already have. So I wanted to make sure to include that. The inside is that same canvas material. So we're gonna go ahead and start on the inserts, the signatures, whatever you wanna call them, and all of the embellishments. So the first thing is this great, I'm gonna call it a swatch stencil because that's definitely what it makes me think of. But this swatch stencil, you have the squares, and you also have circles. You have, well, that's one of my nice, lovely long hairs, sorry. And some triangles. So different shapes that you can play with to make beautiful swatches. I love using these in the Muggle Art Studies or Wizarding Artist Society, however you want to say it, for our alchemy of watercolors. If you don't know what that is, disregard that entirely. But if you do, then you understand. But it's great for swatching. So the first insert has this gorgeous Vicki Boutin paper. By the way, all of my signatures are hand sewn, so just understand that it's not from a factory. I don't think that that's a big problem that I'm having. This is some canvas paper. I've never tried playing on the back of canvas paper, so don't ask because I don't know. some pretty Vicki Boutin paper, some graph paper. This is watercolor paper right here. Some pretty, this is probably one of my favorite pages in the whole thing, because this to me is very Amy Tangerine almost. So I love that. More Vicki Boutin paper. There were so many pretty designs. There was no way I was gonna pick enough, or not, and I don't know. I picked too many. I ended up having to call a lot down. And then this is mixed media paper here in the center. Here also in the center, I have some really cool, what can be cut apart pages if you want, or tip-ins, however you want to do that. I wanted to leave them as big as possible so that you had that DIY ability with this. It's very hard for me not to cut everything down though. This is another just already kind of done card. These are some stickers that just say weekend on them, and they're definitely the same bright motif theme as the books themselves. So then it just repeats. So one thing I do want to do is count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is pretty traditional for me. Oh, 10 right here. So wow, that is a little bit more than normal as well. So there's 10 different styles of pages, which means that you're getting 20 pages per book. But if you want to count front to back, that means you get 40. So everybody counts different. I figured that out now, but just hitting the high points, you're gonna get 10 different designs per signature. That's the basics. So that's the first signature, all ready to go. And since the designs repeat, I don't really bother folding through or flipping through the last part. I can't talk today, that's new. Why is it always when you turn on the camera you can't talk? I felt like this pocket from Jane Davenport, this is also from that butterfly collection, went really well with all the colors, with all the pinks and the teals, and it was just brighter and it vibed with this collection. So I popped that in there. I love using the back of this for stickers. It helps you peel them up really easy. I've had good luck with that anyway. So in this front little pocket, we're gonna find a bunch of little goodies. So I did 5 and 3s. I love 5s and 3s. These are fantastic. I stamped these paint tubes out and then drew kind of a splotch so that these can be swatches for you if you wanted to color in, test your mediums, and then you would have a space here to write down what it was. I actually adapted that idea for my was journal. Was journal. It's not in the current flip through that I have up, but it will be in the finished one, I suppose. But I'm really excited to play with those. I think that's such a fun stamp and idea, and I think it'll work really well with this style of journal. Because I love making pockets, I made 5 different pockets that you can fold. There's little score lines, so you can fold them to whichever side you prefer. These are all double-sided. This is the only kind of duplicate, and that was because I really liked the yellow and I really liked the butterfly, and I didn't realize that the butterflies came upside down when I did that one. So I went ahead and just die cut a new one so that you would have both. And then these are the packaging stamped images that I love to do for texture. I feel like Tim Holtz always has the best stuff. And I do love the Think Big with the elephant. Got all of these little guys that we can tuck back in here. And then we're gonna get into the second signature. One thing I also want to call out really quick is that I left the string from all of the inserts on them. so that you can tie charms if you want, so that they hang out the back side. If you don't like this look and you purchase it through the shop and you've seen this video and you want me to cut these, I'm more than happy to do so. Not a problem at all. I just leave them for those folks that do like the charms. So if you see those hanging around, it's not that it's an unfinished journal. It's just the way I wanted it. So this is the second signature. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I love the stock grid. 5, 6, 7, and this is watercolor paper. 8, 9, 10. So 10 in this one as well. I'm just kind of double checking my work. I'm pretty sure there's 10 in all of them. And that's a good mixture. We've got that Vicki Boutin paper. We've got the graph paper, the watercolor paper. One thing I do want to mention as well, and I just lost the whole thought actually. Oh, the unfinished edges was what I was gonna go with. Normally I would cut the edges all to be even, but for the style of this book, I like them uneven, very much so. So if that's something that you're not interested in and you want me to taper those off, again, just write me a little note in the shop and I'd be happy to acclimate to that. So we get to the end and we've got this, the other side of the pocket. So we've got some stickers, some more cards, cut aparts, however you want to say it. There's a lot of cards already cut down in here, which I love. And these are all from a Vicki Boutin pad that I have. This is a cut apart for sure. And a nice lovely big old paint swatch. Normally I wouldn't put a whole one in there, but I really liked all the blues and I felt like blue was definitely a vibe with this one. So I'll put those back in there. And we're gonna head over to the last one. So on the outside of this last signature is a washi board with over a foot of washi per style. So you get 7 feet of washi included. So we've got this cute butterfly. We've got the pointer, like vintage pointer finger. This really, really pretty gold and silver like washi. This is a little tricky and I would glue underneath that for sure, run a tape runner or something, because it likes to be tricky. I've used it before. A super skinny rainbow with some gold. And then on this side we have a pretty floral. This has some script words on it. So you've got create, tell the story, live, and it just repeats. Some cute dictionary kind of style tape as well. So some of these are Vicki Boutin and some are from other collections that I just felt like went very well with it. So we're gonna go into the last signature. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty canvas paper, 5, 6, a dot grid paper, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 10, and this is mixed media paper. So there's a good assortment of different platforms for your medium in here, so you can really play around with all of your fun mixed media stuff. And the mixed media paper does take other materials very well, and that's the fun of having that particular one, is you can really do watercolor on it, but you can also do your pastels or your colored pencil if you want to go more of a dry medium. And hiding inside this last one is my kind of signature envelope, but the envelope is actually made out of canvas paper. So you could paint this if you wanted to. And inside you'll find all sorts of little goodies. Now I will say this one's holding up really well. I think I finally figured out the secret. My top keeps cracking up here. And so far this one hasn't, but I usually just throw some washi tape over it if it happens to. Still can't figure out why they're cracking. So inside we've got some stickers that just kind of go with everything. We've got those guys. My stamped vellum images. Normally I'll do just 5, but I got a little overexcited and counted this as 1. So it's 3 butterflies, but I'm gonna count it as a 1. And then I liked this pencil create because you could put it over top of anything like a sticker. Got these cute little die cuts. We have colorful and escape the ordinary. Inside, I love these. So these are labels and it says observations, and this is done on label tape. So this is stupid cute. I love having this in there. And you just peel the back off and then put it where you need. This one says snapshots. This one says swatches. So, got those. Tuck those back in there. That observation one is long. And then we've got these little guys. Now, these are almost bonus, because typically I would just have left it at the 5 for the paint tubes, but I really wanted to include some more die cuts that you could play with. So these are on watercolor paper. So you have a bird and then the 3 little flowers. And these are from a Vicki Boutin set that I had. So I felt like it needed to be put in there. And then we're gonna package everything back up into the nice little envelope, wrap it up, plunk it back in there, and then we'll just flip through these last couple. Alrighty. Well, that's gonna do it for this journal. If you have any questions, all of the measurement information should be down below in the description, along with the Etsy shop listing. If for whatever reason you don't get your hands on this lovely guide, don't hesitate to reach out. I do have custom listings, happy to do customs and make you one of your own if you're having trouble getting a hold of something. But thank you guys so much for all the support that you give to me and the shop both. I look forward to chatting with you guys on next week's video. Bye.